Welcome into another episode of Coffee and Chel. It is Monday, September 29th. On today's episode, we're going to discuss milestone cards, the milestone pack that you see for doing all of the objectives for Season 1. The big holdup is obviously the 50 daily objectives, but people have already managed to get it done. I'm very close, but it looks like it is a choice pack, 85 overall cards. There's 3 of them, Chandler Stevenson, William Eklund, and Connor Garland. I don't know what it is. There's something going on, like some theme or something with not just Pacific Division teams, but like teams with water. I don't know if this is like an elemental thing, but like maybe next season we get like fire and it's just like the flames and stuff. I have no idea. But those are going to be the 3 choices. I'll show off the cards in another video going over like the ones I'd pick and whatnot. But those are the 3 cards. They're 85 overall. Nothing really crazy. It's like another XP card almost. So those are coming. Next is the Champs Leaderboards. There was a downtime this morning, and it looks like the Champs Leaderboard it was fixed, so it wasn't showing correctly at all. Bigger issue was that you couldn't see your record while you were playing. It only showed the last 10 games, which is pretty brutal, obviously, because you go more than 10 games in Champs, so people had no idea what their record was going in. So we'll see how that plays out next Hut Champs. For anyone that doesn't know, because they haven't played Hut Champs before or anything like that, you get the rewards on the Wednesday at 5 p.m. it looks like, or sometime on Wednesday. It might be in the morning, might be we don't know exactly yet, because the last few years it was, I don't know if it was 5, but it was like 3 in the morning sometimes. I don't know. But you'll get it on Wednesday, so you'll get the collectibles and stuff like that then, and yeah, should be pretty good. I think I finished with 13 collectibles, I believe, so I'll probably end up getting Shidlicky, I think. I don't know. Very interested to see what I do once I get the collectibles in my hand. So let's go over the questions. There's a lot of, obviously, there's still some fantasy ones, and I didn't really want to talk about fantasy that much anymore until they make the event acceptable, I guess. At this point, it's not even improved or whatever, because I don't know what they can do, but acceptable. So there will be some fantasy related questions in here, because that's just a hot button topic in the community. So CT says, Sleeves, great stuff as always. Thanks for getting the message out on the fantasy event being busted. One thing I want to hit on is moments. First, I'm over 60 and I can't keep up with the Young Bucks, but I feel that I should be able to complete most of the moments. I can play on Superstar Cup Chase, but I get stymied regularly in moments. I play MLB, and while I'm not a good hitter, I can get most of those moments done in a couple of tries. Along those lines, they need to fix stick lifts or quit making those part of the objectives. I love this from this 60-year-old fella in the community, all right? Because, yes, the moments should be easier. I think the moments are treated as like a way to deliver rewards, and they're so worried about giving out good rewards without a crazy grind to it. And moments should be very easy, or at least challenging. You know, I think that some of the craziest parts in MLB is when they release those legend moments, right? The extreme moments, and they're meant to be insane. But you also get well compensated when you complete them. That being said, in the moments for this, there is an issue, and there has been the last few years, that something is going on in moments specifically where you just get ragdolled. We are not playing the same game. It is not their ability to shoot, deke, any of that. It is simply you get close to a CPU player, and they all have truculence. It is a slider issue. It is the clearest thing that we can, like, if anyone that has played the game, you can immediately tell. And for whatever reason, it's not addressed, or they say it's not an issue. There's nothing wrong there, and I don't know what else to do. So I think that what they need to do is just make the requirements for each moment easier if they're going to put it on pro difficulty or whatever, or just avoid the pro difficulty. But it is what it is. When it comes to being able to complete them, I agree. The reward should not come via moments. I completely agree with that, because a lot of the player base can't do the superstar stuff. I told you guys yesterday or in the other video that if you're trying to get the fantasy collectibles from the moments, you need to wait, because I knew that they would come out with a way to make them easier, because they're simply impossible to do. And anytime that there is something that needs to be completed, EA in the background can see how many sets are being completed, how many moments are being completed, all of that. And when that data hits them, that is when there is change, not when, like, it. I'm not saying that public perception and yelling online doesn't have an impact, but it doesn't have nearly the same impact on what is actually happening as opposed to just what people are yelling about, right? So when both align, that is when there is a big issue. So I knew the moments would get addressed, and sure enough, the day later, the tweet came out that, hey, we're going to address the moments for it. So if you haven't completed it yet, wait. Just wait. They will be very easy. For anyone that has completed the moments, you get a gold star from me because I sat there for 6.5 hours and I battled through and I got them all done. And we should get like a banner or something that was raised because those were ridiculous. Stick lifts, dude. I beg. They Pochecks, whatever. Don't touch them because I feel like they're just gonna make them overpowered. All right, don't touch them. Try. I mean, if you want to try, sure. But I know for a fact that they would just make them too overpowered. Stick lifts, guys. EA, if you're listening, when you get inside positioning and you go stick on stick and pull off a successful stick lift, the opposing player's stick is not impacted and the stick goes right back down, meaning that the player who does the stick lift can't get their stick back down to take the puck. That's what's happening. Please address. Give us tools to use defensively other than parking the bus and sitting in the middle. Nobody wants to do it. It's all we're left with. All right? So, please, stick lifts, man. What should I do with my 4,600 pre-order points? There isn't as many of these as last year. If you have the $4,600 pre-order points, wait for EA to release a pack that gives you a guaranteed fantasy item. That is what I would do. If you have not spent points, EA at some point in this event is going to give out a guaranteed fantasy item. And the reason why I know this is because they did it last year. And that has been their MO for the last 2 years. They see what's going on, and then they make a pack in the store that's actually low-key worth coins. But if you still had points, I would just wait for that. Because a guaranteed fantasy item, even if it's BND, a random one, whatever, is still going to be worth more for whatever you can pull with 4,600 if you open up other packs. Okay, so that is what I would recommend. New to Guitar says, hey, Sleeves, most likely skipping the fantasy event unless they give us the ability to earn 40 collectibles. I like Ekblad. He hits hard, and he has one tease, has a lot of power behind it. Some of the shots have clocked at 102 miles an hour. Hughes is okay, probably better as a winger. Thanks for adding your voice to the absolute displeasure and frustration we have felt for the fantasy event. It sucks because the marquee event is now just forgotten about. It's like the NHL 2000s event because it's just so overpowered by the fantasy event. I think the choices for the marquee event, there's some interesting ones, but their abilities not that they don't match up, they just don't make him exciting. Like Ekblad, if he had stick 'em up or some defensive ability, would be way more fun. But if they don't match line combos, it's very frustrating because I'm at a point now, guys, where I'm so stuck. And I can't get over the fact that, I got to have my line combos to get +2. And now I'm like, well, there's no one better I can get for these. And I'm just stuck, and I can't break that, I got to have it, right? I think I will pass both events this weekend. I will start HUD again when Sleeves is genuinely enthusiastic about an event and pulls me back in. Well, I don't know what they could do in the fantasy event. The only way that, I said this in my other videos about the fantasy event. The only way that they would make it acceptable, and I mean borderline, we at least are we don't forget about what happened at launch of the event, but we're okay, let's take a look at the cards available, is if they give us enough collectibles to actually make one that we can choose. So that'd be 40 total. Even if they do just that, they don't change the cost of the sets. So if you wanted to make another one, you can't still. If they don't do that, it's still not going to fix the issue, right? The marquee event, it has some big names, but it's just the good thing about overall staying the same, it stops the progression to 99 HUT. I actually enjoy that. I actually like the fact that we're getting 89s in January. I actually think that that's okay for the game because once you hit 99, it's over. And I don't just mean 99 overall, I mean 99 skating, okay? But the problem is that it's very hard to separate master set player items that are deemed great, right? The best, ones that you can't miss. And I'm not talking about for theme teams or the guys that play casual. I'm talking about for the competitive online players. There just isn't a lot of separators when it comes to these master set player items, and especially with line combos. If they don't fit some specific line combos, then it's ugh, So my hope is that they come out with a 3 marquee event chemistry boost, just like they did with Check My Game, and that would make it a lot different. I understand the negativity around fantasy, but I'd like to bring out something I consider a highlight in the marquee event. In Wildcard, not only were we able to try out the MSPs, but every other event card as well. And I think that's a nice touch that was missing last year. It's nice to let us try out other cards from an event that aren't quite as costly as the MSPs, so that people can get involved even if they don't like or don't have the time to make an MSP. 100% agree. I actually I've enjoyed Wildcard and no one's talking about it because it's over in like 10 games. I don't think skill-based matchmaking is on in Wildcard. And for some, it means that you're losing every game. And for others, like I don't think I've lost more than one wildcard game in the last 3 weeks. And I am not a great player. If you go back and watch my videos from last year, it was skill-based matchmaking, and it was a grind. But still, I actually wish there was more wild card to play. But once you hit the reward path, like that's kind of it. I really enjoyed it because you could try out the MSPs. So like Ekblad felt okay. Hughes felt okay. Sub 90 speed on Hughes is kind of tough, but it was a very, very well done wild card. I agree. The challenge with Cup Chase is that I want to ice the best team so I can play at my highest level. Right now, I'm playing All-Star, and I need most of the games to get enough points to make the postseason on that difficulty. If I play 80 overall event items, they would be on the 4th line, and I doubt I get the objectives complete other than games played. I'm not sure the rewards are better in Cup Chase than squad battles. I've only done 3 runs, haven't gotten anything all that good. What's better? D-rank to chase the objectives or play at my highest div to get a better reward? I only get in 8 to 10 hours per week. I usually get enough collectibles to make an MSP every event without objectives. I do enjoy the format of Cup Chase. Having mini seasons is fun. I would recommend you go down to All-Star and put those event items at line 1. So this has been something I'm talking about where the reason why I like Cup Chase is because it is difficult enough where you put event items in, and it is not about the rewards, just simply the rewards at the end of Cup Chase. It's about all of the other stuff that you can complete. And it isn't just put my controller down for 2 minutes and don't think about it. You actually have to try. And I think that is a good thing. I think that makes the game more enjoyable. It can't just be you get everything done and you're sitting there. I'm sure some people would like that because they don't want to play offline. But I'm not someone who likes online at all or offline at all. I hate it. And I've enjoyed Cup Chase, doing my superstar run with event items to get objectives done. I think that's the way to do it. So if I couldn't get superstar, I would go to All-Star, try it, and see if you can. And if you can't, keep going down. The rewards at the end of Cup Chase are going to help, but it's all the other stuff you're earning that I think is slightly better. If you like the changes, will you do a ranking to the fantasy event? If they give us enough collectibles to make 40, like to make a choice pack, I will do one. Because I think there will be enough people that are still going to do the event, myself included, if you can choose, and they'll want to know which ones I think have the best shot, right? This year is going to be very difficult. Like I said, there's no cards that are going to get out to a hot start that we get to make. It ends before the season starts, so which I actually love. What is going on with the busted Hut Champs leaderboard? I'm 9 to 12 win player, and I can only see my last 10 games, and my own leaderboard doesn't work, so no idea how many actual wins I got on the run. This needs to be fixed ASAP. 100%. It's a mess. Total joke. I believe the patch this morning was to fix it. It better be fixed by next week because that was the thing I got asked the most about while I was streaming. Was just like, what's my record? What's going on with the leaderboard? It's not, I guess it's embarrassing is the right word, but it's just like, how is this happening in a AAA title in 2025? I don't understand it. You know, I get that their resources are small and the time crunch, but at a certain point, the philosophy of take everyone off the old game or the game that's out currently to work on the next one to try and make the next one better, that's not working. They need to make sure that the game they currently release has the little things fixed. I promise it will be worth it for the quality of life of your player base, I beg. Simple way to fix the game. Every Monday, all the combinations change. It makes every team shift. We try new cards, we find new combos, and the meta is shaken every week. You get the whole week to prepare for a new meta for the champs run during the weekend. Brother, if they changed every one, that would send every casual player to Borderlands. I promise you. I would love it because I play the game full time, but every Mike in Indiana is going to sit down on Monday night and go, yeah, I'm good, after he spent all week building up this team, right? So, it's unfortunate, but all they need to do is add more. That's it. Like, if they added 10, if they added 10, that would give us even 5 would give us so many new combinations that teams would be so different. It would change the market. The interest would be so high for cards that you just completely forgotten about. I went through my collection of untradeable already, okay? Because I think this year more than ever, I'm trying not to trade in anything that's of value. Like, even if it works towards something, right? So I'll give you an example. If I went through my collection right now, I have the 85 overall Tom Wilson. So if he's usable in some of the line combos, but let's say there's a better one that comes out. We have Tom Wilson. I've got Brock Faber. I've got the Tyler Seguin Fresh Ice MSP. Slavkovsky's Team of the Week. Like, when they add new things in and you have these cards that are good, but they can't make your lineup, it's going to be exciting. Like, that is going to help, but they're just slow rolling the line combos, and I don't understand. I don't know if it's because maybe this is a business tactic, and I think the tinfoil hat people will assume it's just, they're money hungry, and it is a business. So, but they're like, okay, if we limit the line combos, we know that we can release an American Nashville Predator, and everyone's going to be all hyped up for it. So maybe that's it, but I have no idea. So it sucks that EA doesn't understand the amount of collectibles we get is good, and the set price is the problem. So I got a lot of comments on this, and maybe I wasn't clear on my thought or my stance on it. I don't think the set prices are okay. That is the underlying issue. That is the end-all, be-all of the problem. It has nothing to do with anything else other than the fact that if you wanted to sit down and for 10 days grind the game, you cannot get enough to make a master set player item of your choice. There is no way to do it without spending money or pulling multiple Connor McDavids. Like, there is no way around it. Even if you got the 16 that they give for free, the other 24, you still wouldn't be able to earn it unless you had prepared well beforehand. I'm talking about for the players that don't spend money, they want to get involved in the event, make one of their choice for their favorite team. They have no options to sit down and play for 48 hours out of the week. They'd have no way to get the card. So that is the issue. But when I'm talking about fixes, again, guys, as a creator, I think a lot of creators get hyper focused on the 1% because we are the hardcore. All right, we play the game more than anyone, so our experience is far different than the average player. Even the guys that watch it, you're in your comments, Rock in Jump 885. I bet you play the game far more than the average player. And let's say you don't, but you have to take everyone into account. So all of the people, and you will have no sympathy for them, but there are people in Division 5 and 6, and their hobby is the NHL video game. They make an extreme amount of money, all right? Maybe they work for some hedge fund, and that is the way they enjoy the game. They've spent $2,000 on, or $1,000 on the game because they wanted to make a fantasy item. They've now gone and done the sets that are absolutely bonkers and made the card of their choice. And now they're going to go and change the sets, and now it costs a fraction of that, because it really would have to be a fraction. Like, I asked the question is, what would be a set that is fair, where you don't end up with everyone making 10 fantasy items? Because I don't think that's good for the community either. Like, I think that if they added 78 and above sets, or 80 and above sets, something along those lines, like if they made it instead of 680 overalls, it's 100. Like, I don't know what it would be, because I haven't calculated what that would be. But all the people that have done the sets already, torched, like absolutely burned, because they've wasted hundreds of dollars. And I don't think that they deserve the sympathy because they spend so much money in the game, and maybe they're the problem. But those people still exist, right? Just like I defend the casual player or the hardcore player, the people that have spent money because they don't know, they're out hundreds, maybe $1,000. There's a lot of people out there as well that spend $100 that still should be able to come close to making one fantasy card. Like right now, guys, ask yourself this. If there was a pack for $100 that allowed you to choose a fantasy item, thousands of those would be bought. Thousands, right? And the person that spent $1,000 could barely make one. Like that's an issue. So the set price is 100% the issue. It was the fact that there was some sort of economic thing that gave out this number, and it was so far off. That is why I said in my video, I gave my constructive criticism. What do I do? The first thing I said in that video, you can go back and watch. It wasn't They've got to make objectives. They've got to give us collectibles. The first thing I said was, you go to whatever chat GPT or economist that they have hired, and you go, how did we get here? Let's fix this algorithm or equation so that it never happens again. That was the first thing I said. And that's because of the sets, man. Right? That just is that's why. The sets are so busted that it's impossible to get. So I am with you. If you give, okay, here we go. If they give everyone 40 collectibles as a fix, they might as well have not done the event and gave everybody the best fantasy player on their team, and every team would have that card. It's boring. They have so much more to fix. Making collectibles and earning players needs to be obtainable. I know some people will pick their favorite team, but what if people want to make more than one? It's a start, but 40 collectibles would only be the first step. Attainable earning needs to be next. I'm with you on that. Like I said, I think that being able to actually make the cards is the biggest issue, and I hope that they can change the sets or add sets, something along those lines to make them obtainable. I think that they might. I think that is a possibility. But if I were to hazard a guess right now, that with that tweet that went out that said they were planning on releasing stuff as part of the event schedule release, my bet is that on Wednesday or maybe tonight, so tonight or tomorrow, we're going to get objectives that give you 10 more. And then maybe Wednesday, we get 10 more. And it's a slow drip. And I hope they don't do that, because my fear is that they're releasing a small amount to see if enough sets get made where they don't have to give out an entire one for free. The perception and the just utter shock of the cost of these things. We've had expensive events before. We have never had an event that is simply unobtainable. We've never had an event like that. Even Team of the Year. If you started a new account and you grinded from the start of Team of the Year, by the end of the Team of the Year event, you'd get enough to be able to make one. You'd sell everything you got, but you would be able to get it. You couldn't do that in this event. That's never happened. It's never happened, and that's alarming. So, all right, last one, because this is actually a dedicated viewer that I've seen multiple times throughout the years. Screw EA NHL Hut 528 says, "Oh yes, you can adjust sets. You think they need a make right? I agree. Should send each person who made one a free B&D choice pack to get one free. I'm sure that would do the trick." I do as well. I think that if they are able to, and there has been I don't know how many people have actually been able to do the set. If I were to guess, less than 100 in the world were able to actually do a set. And if they can track that, which they should be able to, send a choice pack to their account. I'm in agreement that would be great if they could do that. If they can't do that, then you can't, the set adjusting thing, like I mentioned prior, is just a super dangerous sentiment, because now you've stated that, hey, if people complain enough, then anyone who spends money is just not. I'm talking about from a business standpoint. I don't agree with this. I'm, again, trying to describe what it would be like in the boardroom, right? Now, when we make an event, people spend money. Now they're hesitant to spend money, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to spend any more money. Like, that's the sentiment that they start to do with that, right? I don't know if that would be the case, but I would love it if they would do that. If they did a make right, then they could adjust the sets. Then we're good. We get like a reset on the event. Sleeves, this isn't all about you. Not everyone can sit here all day doing moments. I paid to play. Hear that, EA? I paid to play. I acquired 250 80s, 150 80, and 150 81s. Okay. When it comes to the moments, I literally said immediately, don't do the moments. Not worth it. They will fix them, I'm sure. That happened. So I'm with you there. Not everyone can sit here all day doing moments. I have to challenge you a little bit. If you have 250 80 overalls and 150 81s, you might not want to be able to sit there all day doing moments, but you're clearly able to sit there all day on the market. So I don't know if that translates, but I understand your frustration. Getting collectibles does not make this okay. Also, props because he capitalized the right word. So many of you guys capitalize the wrong word. Does not make this okay. Sleeves, most people can't get 3 goals with one player at any length of period. Multiple times, I have said that these moments are too difficult. It is a joke. The casual player cannot do these. I did them live on stream. Took me 6.5 hours. I'm a Division 1 player. Again, when people complain about my stuff, I just beg that you fully understand or know my viewpoint, and it's very evident because all you have to do is watch the prior video that you replied to in this video. We need to all stick together on this. We can force change. Yep, the way to do that is by not doing the sets, not spending money, not doing the sets. I've said this a number of times. I said this in my video. If you want change, skip the event, pretend it doesn't exist. And the online outrage, it will cause them to look at stuff, but if enough people are yelling online, that will cause them to look at it and maybe give you a couple extra collectibles. Not doing the sets or participating in the event will get the big boys off their desks downstairs and be like, yo, what is going on here? That is all I can explain to you guys to do. Don't make the sets, even if you can. Getting collectibles is not the issue. The exchange rate is the issue. I just want you to go back and watch this video again. Not this one that I'm replying you to on. The prior one. I get that you're angry. I literally addressed that the inflation is the issue. The cost of a fantasy item is roughly the same as it was last year. 750 to 1 million coins in value. It is almost the exact same. 1 million coins in NHL 26 is roughly 250 to 300, maybe 400,000 coins at the high end. No one has that. It's not possible. We don't earn enough rewards in cards as currency to make them via the sets, because the sets are a mess, but that in turn drives up the cost or the amount of coin, the worth of coins, because we don't earn coins in other ways. We can only sell our cards, and that's how we get it. So, yes, bang on. I did not say that getting collectibles was the issue. I'm saying that is one of the only fixes. We need to demand a 1-for-1 exchange rate for 80s like last year. Worst case, trade in 5 80s and 3 collectibles. Again, just like the coin argument, if you made it the exact same as 80 overalls, then the average player, what happens? 80 overalls go to 7,000 coins per. The average player has no shot. It's a delicate balance. You set up here, and I don't want to accuse you of having ulterior motives, but you have 250 80 overalls, which obviously you spent a lot of work trying to get, which is on you. If all throughout the entire 3 weeks of my content, I said, hey, I don't think that saving up for stuff is really the right play because you have no idea what this content team's going to do. I just sell everything, and I have no idea what they're going to do, and I avoided stuff like this, right? You're locked in. This sucks for you. And I feel bad because you spent an entire, since the launch of the game, probably acquiring this. And now you're out of luck. And I hope that you get something for it because that really sucks. You put all your eggs in one basket and they did not like that basket. They said, here's some scissors. We're going to cut a hole in that basket. Demanding 80 overalls are now down to 2,500 coins. So now they've jacked the market. There's people out there that bought 80 overalls at 5,000 coins, thinking like you did, that everyone is just going to, 80 overalls is going to be the entry and all of that. Everyone said, I'm not making any of these, sold all of them, and now they've sold them all back, lost 2,000 coins per 80 overall, and now they changed them again. Now 80 overalls go back up to 7,000 coins. Like, there is an impact on that as well. There's a delicate balance that needs to be addressed here. And all of this is caused by EA releasing a horribly thought-out collectible cost. This is all on EA. This is not on us. Like, the event cost is a major issue, and it sucks because then we get into issues like this. I don't want more ways to earn them because time is money. I can't sit here in front of this game playing modes I hate, jumping through hoops to earn crap. I have the 80s and other cards already, and so do many others. We need a path to using our existing resources. If not, we all still need to boycott this absolute garbage. If you do not like the game, I beg you to stop playing. It will force change. But if you feel the need to boycott and you say it, and then we go and look at your trophy case and you're still playing, then you haven't done anything. And that's the unfortunate part. We should be able to have an Ultimate Team mode that we all enjoy and all love. But I beg you guys, if you have any negative emotion about this game, to step away from it and go play a different game. I beg you. Because a video game is about taking away the stress in your life, not adding to it. And this event was awful. It is, like I said, the most egregious costing event that we have ever had. And I said that it might not. I think the trade deadline event might be worse because that was simply gambling. Like, at least you can almost guarantee a dollar amount to actually make the fantasy card. I think the trade deadline event, there was no way to guarantee it. Like, some people could have spent 10 grand and not gotten the stuff required in the trade deadline event. But the trade deadline event is just a normal event that no one really cared about. The fantasy event is one of the marquee events all year. So I apologize for your anger and whatnot. I just wanted to, I know that you comment on my videos for years because your name is very funny to me. But I wanted to address that. Man, if you're gonna have complaints about what I'm saying, at least listen to what I'm saying, man. That's all. That's all. Okay? I'm with you. I am with you. I do not work for EA. I play the game as much and more as some of you guys because I enjoy playing the game. Right now, really tough to keep the spirit alive because my favorite event was crushed. So, anyways, my God, we're just gonna talk about fantasy for the next month. I know it, but I hope to God they just come out and all these fixes happen and we're excited about it, and then we can talk about it in a good way because it stinks. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow.